righty. All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. Appreciate you being here today. You're coming into this week, coming off the bye. I thought it was a good work week for us in what we were able to accomplish. Tuesday, Wednesday were good days. Got quality work. I think it was also good that guys got a few days off, being able to kind of rest their bodies, refresh their minds. It's been a pretty good stretch that we've been on. But I really like the guys' mindset and approach coming in. Yesterday, came in, got a good workout in the weight room. I thought really pushed the tempo and pace. From meetings to out there on the field with our normal Sundays. And so excited about the week that's ahead. The opportunity, being back at home, getting a chance to go out and just work on being the best us. And there's been a lot of lessons that we've learned throughout the course of the year as we go into this, this back stretch of games. It's really about the consistency of our application. Going out there and playing a 60-minute game to the best of our ability. Our guys, it's fun to be able to kind of sit back and watch other games, throughout the weekend, and you see the importance of the fundamentals, you see the importance of the details, the discipline, just from an outsider's perspective, and being able to make sure that we maintain the focus of what we need to go out and play, a disciplined brand of ball, making sure we're owning the football, making sure that we're, creating takeaways and being on point in those situational moments, because we've seen that work really well for us, and we've seen where that's cost us at times here this season. But I think that having those few extra days is going to be able to help. It was good, seeing Fabian move around. Very hopeful for what that's going to look like this week. You will continue to see with Trey Ward on where that's at. As he's progressing throughout this week. But all in all, I think it was a very positive time for us with the bye week, and I think our guys got quality work.
First question will be Ira, to your right. Can you sometimes see how players handle that freedom maybe during a bye week and what that tells you about their state of mind and where you're at as a program?
I think the overall mindset to work is something that's important. And when you don't have something pressing in that immediate week, really, just how guys approach it is it tells you their passion, their hunger, their desire to get better and to fix some of the issues that have shown up. And I thought the work week did that, but also we had a lot of guys that stayed in town this weekend. And the athletic training room, sometimes when guys get a break, and we tried to intentionally give them a break. We wanted them to have, moments to really decompress, but still do the things necessary to work on their bodies and their minds. And we had a lot of guys that stayed in town, had great treatment sessions. I thought I thought that made a statement too, to just that sense of urgency for improvement and for guys to be the best that they can be as we jump into this week.
Come to Brendan over here on your left. Following up on that, for this weekend's game against Georgia Tech, is this an opportunity to, set a tone for the final stretch of the season?
Yeah, I think every time you step on the field, is that chance to really, put on display, this team, their response, the mindset of what we're going to take to the opportunity that's at hand. And you sit there and you watch, Georgia Tech. They've had they've had their ups and downs. They went through a coaching change. They won the next two games. They've been playing really well on defense. Making some, very impactful plays. They've even though they came up short the other night, I thought their defense played really well. Offensively, they've had some challenges that have presented themselves just with different injuries and things that have shown up, and some missed opportunities. But this is a team that's very capable. You see that. I think they're playing hard. Coach Key has done a good job of kind of rallying the troops, and it's a really good coaching staff. I know a couple of them personally, and so a lot of respect for who they are and what they do. But this week is still about us. It's about our improvement in all areas, but then specifically just to those critical situations, the importance of the detail, the importance of the discipline, the importance of being able to execute with our fundamentals in those critical situations. I mean, that's what we need to see, and I think our guys understand that, they embrace that. So yes, this week will be an opportunity for us to go out there and push to show our best to be able to make a statement of that's who we are, and that's what we desire to do in our continued improvement.
Go back to Hassan.
Yeah, Coach, you had the big recruiting weekend with Clemson, bunch of recruits in town. How big is it to have the week right after that to be able to go see some recruits and build some momentum?
Yeah, I thought last week was good for us to be able to get out, on the road, to be able to get to a variety of different high schools, seeing different games. It's something I don't ever take for granted. After dealing with the year and a half of COVID, of not being able to leave the office, it's really, we try to capitalize on every opportunity that we get to get out in schools, and I thought we were well received. I mean, I'm grateful for all the coaches and the time that they provided to be able to sit down and discuss their prospects, but also just to give their perspective of what they seen from us, and that growth, that the improvement, the competitiveness, the heart, the energy, the passion that our guys play with. I mean, that's not going unnoticed, and we've got a lot of excitement from prospects around the state, prospects around the region. This is players, coaches, everybody involved are taking notice of what's going on here in Tallahassee, and we're excited about who we're recruiting, and just make sure we're evaluating, finding those right fits for Florida State as we move forward.
Stay over there with Carter.
Mike, with Fabian Lovett, just what sort of impact do you see from him when it comes to stopping the run, and what kind of improvement do you see once he's back with just the team altogether?
Yeah, Fabian's he's one of our best leaders. He's a guy that plays with great passion. He's very talented. He's all conference defensive lineman. That can stop the run and also impact in the passing game. And we feel like that. We've been our depth has been tested, and that's been a position that's really been challenged. You look at the guys that have missed time, whether it's missing games or missing periods of games. They're on that defensive front, especially in that core, and I'm excited about the growth that we've seen, and young guys stepping up and showing that they are capable. But when you have a guy that has Fabian's experience, leadership, his size, his strength, his speed, and then just that overall mentality. I mean, it's something that's big for our team, and I think his involvement, even when not being able to play on game day, has been something that I've appreciated, and I think it's just he continues to earn the respect through some of the challenges and adversity that he's had to face, and we all know how bad he wants to be out there on the field, and I know he'll make a great impact when he's able to do that.
We'll go back right for Aslan.
Their offensive coordinator, Chip, and you go back a while. Could you just maybe talk about your impressions of him and just that whole kind of chess match when you know a guy and he knows you, and you don't want him to know what you know and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, Chip's a great coach, and we've known each other since we were in college. We actually competed against each other in college, and you kind of developed that relationship just through a healthy respect of each other, and you got a chance to work together for many years. He was my first offense coordinator at Memphis. Was able to go on and do great things there at Notre Dame, and has continued on in his coaching career. And I think that when you go against talented coaches, whether they know what they know a lot of the foundational elements within the program. I mean, it's still being true to who you are and making sure that you're tying everything to the players that you have. I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of give and take when you go against somebody that has that type of familiarity. But got a lot of respect for him and the job that he does. We know that it's this year for them. With a lot of the injuries and things that they've had to try to overcome. There's been some challenging moments, but you also see the potential that they have. You see some of the explosiveness that's shown up. They're especially in the last few games. The last two that they had won, going on the road, at Pitt to get a big win, having to rally there. And then obviously against Duke was another a very close game where those guys had to step up, and so definitely very capable. I think they're getting some guys back. We'll see how all that plays out, but a lot of respect for their coaching staff.
Year to year, to see such a kind of wild swing from how successful you guys were in the red zone offensively to where you guys have been this season. During this time, the self-scouting, were there things that, I know you probably won't give specifics, but things that you feel like you guys would have done differently, or do you feel like it's been mostly execution type issues?
Well, I mean, you look at it and it is twofold. What has been successful for us this year? Because we've had we've had successful drives. We've been able to score touchdowns, not at the rate where we wanted because of some missed opportunities. And there have been some pretty common factors that if you look at, which I watched, I think I mentioned last week. I went through and watched all of them. Times that we've been in the red zone and not either scored points or scored touchdowns. Usually one of three factors showed up. It was a penalty that showed up. It was a missed opportunity, maybe with a drop pass, or there was just a focus issue where maybe a missed assignment or a mistake that had showed up in that moment. And so a lot of self-inflicted issues that have shown themselves, and it's not really the series that we're scoring. It's not this is that much different. It's just we've got really talented players. We've got guys that are very capable. I don't think we're far off. I don't think that it's some it's the glaring issues of it's this on this player. Those self-inflicted issues that show up down in the red zone. I mean they're going to cost you. You're tighter in your spaces. Obviously the importance of every down in that area of the field. I mean, and those things have kind of got us. And so we're always reflecting, always making sure that we're doing all that we can to put our guys in the best position to be successful. But those are things that we have to clean up, and that's all part of that consistency. And I've got to make sure that I'm putting our guys in the best position in those situations as well. So it's always twofold with it.
Was there a point where you saw, and I know you guys have had confidence in Lawrence as a back since you signed him, but it seems like between the tackles he's more aggressive and more physical. Is that something that just comes with the weight room work, or what's been the development?
It really, I mean, I think it's confident. It's a twofold confidence. I mean, really, it's the confidence in his body and his strength and his size and speed, but also in his experience and knowing where he wants to end up, knowing having confidence in the tracks, having confidence in the plays and the schemes of what we're asking him to do, and you see he's really coming into his own, and I'm excited about that. I thought the game against Clemson, you saw probably his best down in and down out performance as a running back, and I think that that's something we're going to continue to build upon. But he's done a remarkable job, and just his knowledge, the confidence in what he's been asked to do, and really just the ownership of this team. I mean, he's one of the most selfless people when it comes to his time and helping others and trying to bring guys along. He's done a great job. With Rodney Hill, who I think has got an incredible future in front of him. Just seeing LT, help him along through this. I mean, this is where I was when I was your age, and it's just seeing him take that time to help guys through those experiences, something I ultimately respect.
Come over here to Brendan.
When you guys talk about emphasizing takeaways, is there something more that the secondary can do, or does it have to be the attacking forcing unit? I guess, is it collective, all different parts?
Yeah, it is. It's really top down, and it's the more pressure that you're able to create, the more opportunities that are going to show up there on the back end. I think when you effort, physicality, pursuit. I mean, being able to make offenses uncomfortable, to be able to create those situations, and then there's times that we've played teams in the last few weeks that have done a great job of taking care of their controllables. I mean, you sit there and you watch this past weekend, and the balls were all over the place. I mean, that weren't necessarily great created plays by a defense, but just lack of focus, and so we're all capable of that at times. And for us, we've got to control things we control, and we got to create pressure. We got to disrupt things at the line of scrimmage. We got to make sure that, if we get opportunities on the back end, we take advantage of them, being in the right place, making sure our eyes are where they need to be. But then it comes down to just effort, physicality, and pursuit. And if you put those things, consistently on display, and you're making sure that you take advantage when the ball is, in jeopardy, then you're going to create more takeaways, and that's something that we try extremely hard to emphasize, and I think we've been close on some things, but which obviously that's got to be better as the season continues.
All right, we'll go to Hassan over on the left.
Yeah, Coach. You guys got Ja'Kai Douglas back in the last week. Played. Don't remember how many snaps, but a good number. How do you think he came out? And he talked about building that conditioning up. Where do you see him? What did you see from this past week?
I thought this last week was really good for him, and we did some developmental work with guys. Through last week's practices, some of the guys that have played a lot of snaps, were a little bit more limited in just the overall workload, and guys that were on the lower end, we kept out and got some extra repetitions. And Ja'Kai was one of those guys, and he embraces the work. He embraces the process of growth and development. And I thought he went out and played fast against Clemson. It was good to see him out there. He did score the touchdown and took advantage of that opportunity. But I think that as the season progresses and he continues to build upon that shape, his. He's so much further along than where he's been, and you really see the confidence in how he's playing and how he's practicing, and we need him to show up big because he brings a great dynamic to this offense.
We'll go back to Ira.
Georgia Tech obviously losing their quarterback and just had a lot of issues in that game last Thursday night, but they have beaten Duke and they have beaten Pitt. Is that something you have to stress to the players, or do you expect them to figure that out on their own?
No, when you turn on film, you see ability, you see talent, you see potential. Those are things that are there. And for us, you live off of experience. And we've got to. Arkansas is not necessarily the opponent that we're playing. It's really got to be on us. And we've shown that we're a very capable team. That if we're not handling ourselves to the best of our ability, we will not play our best, and we need to play our best game. And ultimately, this is a team that does have talent. They have beaten people. They do have experience. On their football team, and you look. They've both sides of the ball have shown that they're very capable. And so for us, we just got to go out there and be focused on what we're here to do, and that's to get better. That's to go play our best football game, and that's what our guys have been working for through the off week, and now as we jump into game week, it's got to be that continued push.
And then, and you've talked about it before, but the charitable efforts from Dylan and some of his teammates, but for them to go down to South Florida during the bye week and hand out checks and supplies, and what do you think when you see
it just they're such respectable young men, and to be able to utilize their platform and the opportunities to be able to positively impact others is something that I'm proud of them for, and what they do, and just the willingness to make an impact. And whether it's going to South Florida, obviously with the hurricane, some people that have a lot of people that lost everything, and to be able to utilize a platform to make an impact there, to the guys that are here in Tallahassee and doing the same thing, and being able to give of themselves just to bring a smile to a young boy or young girl's face by just spending that time. And this is a team that really does embrace the service element of life and the opportunity that we get. And so I'm grateful for them and what they're doing, and those continued efforts here as we move forward.
All right, go good.
That was easy.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, see you guys.